Hello, this is World University and Schools News and Question and Answer weekly business meeting on Monday, February 16th, 2026 at 10 a.m. in the morning Pacific time, 1 p.m. in the afternoon Eastern time, 10:30 p.m. India time, with an invitation to join this open conversation in a Zoom video call on Mondays at 10 a.m. from wherever you are in all 24 time zones. And I'll post this video recording as kind of video minutes for this Monday, February 16th, 2026 weekly business meeting to the current active YouTube channel for World University and School, youtube.com at Scott McLeod World University. So to begin, dear World University and School community, Universitians, Peter Norvig, Google AI Director, and Stanford Distinguished Education Fellow, and Stanford Law Codex Executive Director, Roland Vogel, all. Greetings from World University and School, building on CC4 MIT OpenCourseWare in 7 languages. And you can access these languages from opencw.aprende.org/courses/translated-courses in the 6 languages beyond English that MIT OpenCourseWare has been translated in. And you can access also MIT OpenCourseWare in a previous iteration in its about 38 departments at opencw.aprende.org/COURSES. So World University and School, building on CC4 MIT OCW in 7 languages and Wikipedia Wikidata in 342 active languages, World University and School continues to plan online free-to-students bachelor, PhD, law, MD, IB high school or similar, AAAS, and master's degrees in each of all 200 countries and in their main languages. And as WUAS proceeds with accreditation, with the green light from Middle States Commission on Higher Education in the greater Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area, and in a Grow with Google WUAS program. And here again is the incredible Toolify AI WUAS article by Peter Norvig, Google AI Director, and regarding World University and School, building on MIT OpenCourseWare in 7 languages and Wikidata as a back-end structured knowledge database regarding Wikimedia's in about 342 languages with active language communities. It's titled Revolutionizing Education with Machine Learning and AI, hashtag World University in School, updated March 2nd, 2024, and the Toolify AI URL website address for this great article. World University and School's Open WUAS weekly business meeting, news and question and answer, meet on Mondays, next on February 23rd, and at 9 a.m. Mexico City time, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Mountain time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, US and Canada, 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, 10:30 p.m. India time, and 1 a.m. Tuesday, the next day, Hong Kong time. But please check your time converter from any of your 24 time zones to join this open WUAS weekly business meeting with Zoom URL in the agenda and news below and in the following WUAS blog posts. So this week's WUAS weekly business meeting is working from last Monday's, the 9th of February, agenda and news for WUAS, beginning Mount Whitney, posted on Monday, February 9th, 2026, and in both blogs, worlduniversityandschool.blogspot.com and scott-mccloud.blogspot.com. So further, all the best, abolitionally, a best Steam Creative Commons licensed OpenCourseware wiki at World Univ and SCH, hashtag WUAS abolition movement is growing to protect people. And see the blog post Lotus Kamala Padma, beginning with this flower, in my blog from July of 2025, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, 2025/07/Lotus Kamala Padma. And in WUAS seeking to code for all 7.9 billion people on the planet to facilitate wiki, free, universal education, and to end poverty worldwide, potentially by distributing Stanford MindPy cryptocurrency to most of all 7.9 billion people, and particularly to help the, say, billion poorest people. Yogically, friendly NTF, NTQ Quaker greetings. Scott GK McCloud, founder, president, CEO, and professor, presiding and recording clerk, too, loosely in the manner of unprogrammed NTF friends Quakers. So the recording for today will be posted again to youtube.com/@ScottMcCloud-World-University/videos. So the agenda and the video minutes for last week, the 9th of February, 2026, are posted in last week's weekly business meeting blog posts, and check them out. A little bit of a focus on a realistic virtual Earth for synthetic biology and an aging reversal machine even, and regarding the MIT and Harvard course, How to Grow Almost Anything, 2026. Agenda item 1. So the Harvard and MIT How to Grow Almost Anything synthetic biology class for registered MIT and Harvard students, as well as committed listeners and global listeners, has begun, and there are about 400 committed listeners from all over the planet, as I understand it, who are doing the homework weekly. And there are also about 15 wet labs in 15 cities around the world. For example, in Tokyo and Seoul and San Francisco, where committed listeners can go to potentially and do the homework. I'm a global listener in this course, and I'm excited for this course for a variety of reasons. Not only because World University and School might matriculate some of the committed listeners in the future in this science course, this synthetic biology course that's virtual, yet has an experimental and wet lab component, but also because we might, World University and School might be able to build a virtual laboratory, in addition to seeking to develop a realistic virtual Earth for aging reversal genetics. Think Google Street View with time slider at the cell view level, at the Google molecule view level, at various levels in between with machine learning and AI. And because I'm excited about this course regarding World University and School, because we might be able to develop a related course for the Aging Reversal Genetics Wiki subject page at World University and School, or Wiki School at World University and School, that people would, with parallels to MIT OpenCourseWare courses, that we could add to this Aging Reversal Genetics course, and which could become a resource and a way for students and learners to develop aging reversal genetics through this wiki school. It's also possible World University and School could offer this course for credit in the future. And potentially seeking to develop an realistic virtual Earth for synthetic biology, for biomedical engineering, in collaboration or out of this How to Grow Almost Anything synthetic biology course, potentially out of a newly safe, vacant, with deed 670 Ridgecrest Road, Canyon, California 94516, and at SHOP, and even innovatively in a hashtag WUAS hospital multimedia room and a hashtag WUAS STEM laboratory multimedia room. With vast amounts of data, of libraries of data, potentially informing this n-dimensional space, which will also interoperate with an emerging, iterating, realistic virtual Earth. See the video, How to View Google Street View in a Smart Meeting Room, and think Google Street View with TimeSlider, Google Maps, Google Earth, and TensorFlow AI, Gemini AI, and at the Google Cell View level, the Google Molecule View level, the Google Atom View level, the Google Qubit View level. I'm also excited about this How to Grow Almost Anything course regarding potentially our ability to enter into this realistic virtual Earth in Google Street View with TimeSlider right now. And for example, here at the Harbin Hot Springs Gatehouse with a URL from Google Maps that will put you right in front of the Harbin Hot Springs Gatehouse in Northern California virtually, and with 3 potential dates that you could move toward. You could go to 2024 or with a little mint trailer off to the left of the gatehouse. You could go to 2012 and there would be nothing off to the left of the Harbin Gatehouse. And you could go to 2007, and there would be a little vintage fire engine to the left of the Harbin Hot Springs Gatehouse. And you could also walk down the road 4 miles to Middletown, but still not go into a virtual Harbin Hot Springs yet. And potentially you can also add photos and videos to Google Street View and in their years to create a realistic virtual Earth for Harbin Hot Springs history, or to add to or to generate a Harbin Hot Springs history realistic virtual Earth by your adding photos, for example, or text in the sidebar. And potentially in creating this realistic virtual Earth in Google Street View with TimeSlider right now further, and here at the Harbin Hot Springs Gatehouse, you could also, with little Pegman in Google Street View in the bottom left corner, becoming our avatar agent electronic health records, World University and School would seek to potentially, in collaboration with this How to Grow Almost Anything synthetic biology course out of MIT, Harvard, and Wellesley, to develop further our avatar agent electronic health records in a realistic virtual Earth that's iterating and as a realistic virtual Earth for synthetic biology. potentially adding, for example, the Bio Bootcamp slides from this MIT, Harvard, and Wellesley How to Grow Almost Anything HTGAA synthetic biology course to text in the sidebar, and beginning in the Google Street View main window, begin to code for, with machine learning and AI, these cellular and molecular processes that give form to synthetic biology genetics. So further, I'm glad to have submitted World University and School Physical Digital hashtag HTGAA virtual node laboratory proposal, but haven't yet heard back. This would potentially build from a physical laboratory, perhaps in the Shopping Canyon, California, or from the 15 virtual, the 15 physical laboratories that the How to Grow Almost Anything course has working this year, or out of MIT or Harvard laboratories, to create a virtual HTGAA node laboratory that students from around the world could begin to do experiments in that would potentially free them from having to go into a physical laboratory, a physical wet lab, for example, for this genetics course. So further, in regard to this HTGAA course, synthetic biology course, 2026, I wrote to Dr. David Sun Kong, the faculty lead, George Church, the MIT and Harvard professor of genetics in the Harvard Medical School, Chris Mason, a professor in the course who's at the Weill Cornell Medical Center in New York City, Peter Norvig, and presidents at MIT and Harvard, and U.S. Senator and former Harvard Law professor Elizabeth Warren, as well as AI readers and all, regarding potentially how to abolish the wrongful buying and selling of people in the illegal sex and drugs industry, etc., as World University and School seeks to code for all 7.9 billion people on the planet at World University, potentially for avatar agent electronic health records as extreme longevity and aging reversal genetic drugs come along, such that we might be able to, with electronic health records as these, facilitate people living possibly beyond 122 years of age. So I wrote, I write as president of World University and School, building on CC4, MIT OCW in 7 languages, and on Wikipedia, Wikidata in 342 languages, and in growing an abolition movement to protect people, and in seeking to code for all 7.9 billion people on the planet, each a Wikidata PIN number from here, you at World University, wiki.worlduniversityandschool.org/wiki/you at World University, and to abolish the wrongful buying and selling of people in the illegal sex, drugs, violence, car theft, military targeting industries, etc., internationally, and their latent networks of violence. As you may have been reading in the WUAS weekly business meeting, WS News and Question and Answer, most recently on Monday, February 2nd, 2026, in the blog post beginning Mount Shasta Wilderness in worlduniversityandschool.blogspot.com. I also write regarding HTGAA 2026 in growing a realistic virtual earth for synthetic biology, for biomedical engineering, a realistic virtual earth for genetics, and a realistic virtual earth for extreme longevity, a realistic virtual earth for hashtag Realistic Virtual Earth for Aging Reversal in collaboration with HTGAA. And again, see Peter Norvig's incredible Toolify AI WUS article regarding a realistic virtual Earth, revolutionizing education with machine learning and AI, which is the first time someone has mentioned RVE, Realistic Virtual Earth, that I know of, other than WUAS. And at the G cellular and G molecular view levels, etc., too. Think Google Street View with Time Slider. And also regarding an aging reversal genetics course with parallels to MIT OpenCourseware course, to be listed potentially at worlduniversityandschool.org/wiki/aging reversal genetics, maybe on MIT OpenCourseware too as a listing. And so that MIT and Harvard and Wellesley, etc. students can all begin to work on aging reversal genetics, gene therapies, and similar with time. Also, further, still in agenda item 1, and with George Church having recently retweeted some Michael Forrest tweets regarding potentially longevity molecules. A Twitter post about this, great. Hashtag New Zealand, patent granted. Hashtag new cancer drugs. How will a hashtag realistic virtual earth for patenting, hashtag RVE for patenting on Twitter, X, and LinkedIn, integrate all 200 hashtag WUAS nation states, hashtag patent law offices, e.g., regarding a hashtag realistic virtual earth for patents with a hashtag realistic virtual earth for molecules in hashtag G Street View and at hashtag G molecule view level. And this retweets Michael Forrest, PhD's Twitter post regarding a New Zealand patent granted upon new cancer drugs, where patent offices in all 200 countries could offer new avenues for intellectual property and thus innovation by geneticists and similar in new ways. And a realistic virtual earth for patentee could help develop this further with AI and machine learning. So, agenda item 1A. GLAD, World University and School, reached out to both MIT and Harvard presidents in hashtag MIT Harvard Wellesley, hashtag HTGAA 2026, hashtag SynthBio course. Set of Twitter posts about this. GLAD, World University and School, with hashtag MIT OCW in 7 languages and Wikidata in 342, reached out to both MIT and Harvard presidents in hashtag MIT Harvard Wellesley, hashtag HTGAA 2026, hashtag SynthBio course, with professors at Geo Church, at David Sun Kong on Twitter X. And see the blog post beginning Bauhinia variegata camel's foot in my blog from 2026 in, I think, February. Scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, 2026, February, I think, Bauhinia variegata camel's foot, and a hashtag RVE for genetics, hashtag RVE for patents, and the Aging Reversal Genetics Wiki School at World University and School, the URL. And read more about this further in the blog post in my blog beginning Coast Live Oak Quercus agrifolia in scott-mccloud.blogspot.com /2026/02/ Coast Live Oak Quercus agrifolia .html. Agenda item 2. WUAS with Canva Design and Education, Canva Education, and Google Australia. What ways at Sundar Pichai, at GEG Ahmedabad, at Dr. Vishal Varia, hashtag Peter Norvig AI, could at World Univ and SCH, building on hashtag MIT OCW in 7 languages, develop with at Canva EDU and hashtag Google Australia, hashtag free WUAS degrees in India's 22 scheduled languages, and potentially in Hindi, in the Hindi language, in the Tamil language, in the Gujarati language first, for example. So Canva Design and Canva Education are based, I think, they have their headquarters in Sydney, Australia. And Google Australia is also based in Sydney, Australia. That's where Google's headquarters are, in Australia. And recently, Google GEG, Google Educator Groups Ahmedabad, held 4 presentations, 4 Canva design presentations to help Indians build websites for education and similar. Dr. Vishal Varia organizing this. And Google Educator Groups Ahmedabad may have a relationship with Canva Education and Canva Design in Sydney, Australia. And Canva Design and Canva Education may also be in India. So in what ways could World University and School explore further developing our online free universities, building from MIT OpenCourseware in all 22 official and scheduled languages in India? How would this work? Would we begin first in Hindi and Tamil and Gujarati and English for Indian students for regarding the Indian school system, the exams, the cultural system, where MIT OpenCourseware, as courses to be completed, translated into Hindi and Tamil and Gujarati, will be adapted by potentially different countries and different educational systems in innovative and new ways for free WUAS online from home, bachelor, PhD, law, medicine, IB high school, or similar AAAS and master's degrees. So this set of Twitter posts retweets a Canva Twitter post regarding a presentation on the 10th of February from 4 to 5 p.m. at AEDT. I think that might be Australian Eastern Daylight Time. I'm not sure. The Twitter post reads from Canva, curious about using AI in the classroom, but not sure where to start. We're here to help you feel confident using Canva AI tools with your students. Join Canva AI Magic in education to explore practical, time-saving ways AI can support teaching and learning. Read more about this in the blog post beginning Coast Live Oak Quercus agrifolia in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, 2026/02/Coast Live Oak Quercus agrifolia. Agenda item 3. Greetings. Hi, David Thurston, a friend from the mid-1960s from Cuttyhunk Island, who's the new executive director of Bright Paths, DC, District of Columbia in the Washington, DC area, where he has had a tutoring company for years now, helping to tutor high school students getting into college. So hi, David Thurston, new executive director of Bright Paths DC. Searched on Peter Norvig, Canyon 94516, and regarding WUAS, World Univ, and SCH, moving forward there soon. This is a circuitous search regarding David and Peter Norvig, and David's knowledge of World University and School's interest in moving into a newly safe Canyon 94516. Searched on Peter Norvig, Canyon 94516 regarding World University and School moving there soon, and found a video from 2 blog posts from my blogs from December of 2024, beginning Areopagia species, and from August of 2023, Rosa rugosa, CZ national flower of, and a video of Peter Norvig from 2013. Peter Norvig, director of research at Google, talks about how we have known that learning works best with a one-on-one tutor who encourages the student to keep learning until mastery is achieved. So in what ways could David Thurston, in his new role as executive director of Bright Paths DC, work with this potentially mastery learning approach with tutoring, with Google AI, possibly with AI tutors, and regarding also possibly his students, tutees, becoming students at World University and School even. So dear David Thurston, new executive director at Bright Paths DC, congratulations on becoming the executive director of Bright Paths DC, brightpathsdc.org. David, we'll see if I can find that Kotke Fahey 1969 album, Abolitionally There Too, in DC at Bright Paths and on Cuttyhunk. World University and School is seeking further collaboration with Google's Sundar Pichai and Google Australia and Canva Design and Canva Education, both located in Sydney, Australia, for free WUS degrees in a number of languages. Recently updated this after 3 years, so the main worlduniversityandschool.org website. What might you, David Thurston, like to see here on this website at World University and School for your college-bound students, besides accreditation and courses other than ocw.mit.edu courses? Friendly NTF Quaker and Unitarian Universalist greetings, where I became a...
Thurston likely envisions a platform that bridges the gap between open content and professional validation. Beyond the core MITocW materials, a robust World University and School WUAS platform should prioritize 1. Interactive global community. Virtual world classrooms, utilization of platforms like Google Street View or 3D environments to create field sites where students can interact with the environment they are studying. Wiki-based pedagogy. Tools that allow students to teach to their web camera and contribute back to the wiki, fostering active learning rather than passive consumption. 2. Specialized degree tracks. Multi-language proficiency, pathways that integrate language learning with core subjects, e.g., international business in Spanish or physics in Mandarin, to prepare students for a global workforce. Credit for experience. Clear mechanisms to translate past education, work, and life experiences into university credits to fast-track degree completion. 3. Professional and technical integration. Industry standard software. Access to specialized tools, like CM-specific software or coding environments, directly within the learning dashboard. Employment portals. Verifiable transcripts and direct links to global independent verification services to ensure degrees are recognized by employers. 4. Holistic student support. Career and research mentorship. Access to a network of faculty and mentors who can guide independent research and capstone projects. Social Emotional Learning, SEL. Seminars focusing on academic skills, wellness, and ethics to develop well-rounded global citizens. Would you like me to outline a specific curriculum path for one of these languages, or generate a checklist for student accreditation readiness?
No, thank you, Google, but thank you, Gemini AI, so much for your contribution and your communication in this WUS weekly business meeting regarding this agenda item. Amazing surprise and a great contribution. So uh, I will add Google's Gemini AI response to this agenda item, which it just shared, and I hope the microphone picked up the recording for today's video minutes for World University and School to if there is a URL from that Gemini AI response to the agenda for the minutes for this week of 2016, February 16th, 2026. So you can read more about this agenda item number 3 also in the blog post beginning California Bay umbelliferae, umbellularia californica in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com from February 2026. California Bay umbellularia californica. And again, today's weekly business meeting is using the agenda from Monday, February 9th, 2026, beginning Mount Whitney. And again, I'll try to post Gemini AI's very helpful contribution just now to this agenda item 3 in Monday, February 9th, 2026 agenda and news and minutes. So moving on to agenda item 4, and I'll just check to see if anyone's seeking to join this meeting. Thank you, Gemini AI, Google AI, for joining this weekly business meeting with such helpful ideas for building out possible education paths for Bright Paths DC. So agenda item 4, Stanford Medicine Neurosurgery Masterclass, trigeminal neuralgia and facial pain confirmation, and possible approaches to diagnosing and potentially reversing in the future with OSKM Yamanaka factor genetics or similar, my right ear, what I'm calling eustachian tube dysfunction. So recently, I attended a Stanford Medicine CME continuing medical education presentation with Dr. Michael Lim, MD, and followed up on this further communication with Stanford Medicine CME, various medical doctors there regarding what I'm calling my right ear eustachian tube dysfunction and possibly diagnosing it and creating new therapeutic pathways in the future with genetics and potentially aging reversal genetics even. So dear Alice and Stanford Medicine Chairperson, Dr. Michael Lim, Erica Robb Thaler, MD, an ENT professor at University of Pennsylvania and Harvard Medical School graduate and family friend since I was pretty much a baby in the early to mid 1960s in the Boston area, Harvard and MIT professor of genetics, Dr. George Church at the Harvard Medical School, all. Thank you, Dr. Michael Lim and Alice, for the recording. And how might we explore further genetic approaches to reversing what I'm calling this little eustachian tube dysfunction, or possibly even a little wound in my right ear, so that I could possibly play the Great Highland Bagpipes again, for example, regarding pressure from the inside of the mouth in the ear, on the ear, and also sleep on my left side, since I can't sleep on my left side all that easily. because of the right ear eustachian tube dysfunction, for example. Read more about this in the blog post beginning Lactuca tuberosa, Stanford Medicine. And further, agenda, how might this articulate such possible research, such genetic research, with the WUAS Academic Medical Center emerging in Canyon 94516 and possibly in conjunction with Kaiser Permanente NorCal as well. Agenda item 5, regarding consciousness, shaping reality. So our subjective experience potentially shaping our understanding of the world as reality. And regarding yoga, too. I asked hashtag Gemini AI regarding Ray philosophy, hashtag Gemini AI Ray philosophy on Twitter X and LinkedIn. Where has yoga philosophy, hashtag yoga philosophy, as in 8-limb yoga philosophy, gone regarding hashtag Western philosophy, e.g., hashtag mind, body, consciousness? And Gemini AI gave a very helpful, impressive response. Yoga philosophy meets Western academia. And see also these hashtag yoga WUS hippie Angeli yoga notations at scottmcleod.com/yoga notations.html. So the question about consciousness giving form to reality and regarding yoga is something that Western psychology has also addressed, and potentially and psychoanalytic psychology as well. And David Chalmers has also recently published a book in 2025 titled Virtual Reality, regarding some of these questions, making the case for technical virtual reality or technology-informed virtual reality or reality. So created a set of Twitter posts about this, how best to further explore where yoga philosophy has gone regarding 8-limb yoga philosophy and with Western philosophy, regarding metaphysics, epistemology, hashtag mind, body, consciousness, and potentially with Gemini AI in new ways. Gemini AI opens a whole vast set of potentials for knowledge generation with as a large language model, and regarding these philosophical questions about, for example, how consciousness, our understanding of it, both possibly informed by yoga philosophy, understanding of consciousness, and Western philosophy's understanding of consciousness, give form to concepts of or experiences of reality. More ahead in these directions. And more about this in my blog post beginning Dactyoriza Hatageria Himalayan Marsh in scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2026/02/Dactyloriza Hatageria Himalayan Marsh flower. So agenda item 5B, what is reality? In Western psychological, even psychoanalytic concept of reality regarding language, what is reality here? Both for Jacques Lacan and Sigmund Freud, they express aspects of an understanding of reality vis-a-vis language. Neither of these two writers have a concept of consciousness, subjective experience, awareness, feeling, memories as an emergent property from meat, brains, body minds, physical cells, molecules, neurons, where there is something it is like to be conscious, informing individuals' reality, and in French and in German. So neither of these two writers, Lacan and Freud, have a concept of consciousness as they write about how, in some ways, language gives form to reality in French and in German. In Western psychology, further, and more specifically psychoanalytic theory, reality is not viewed as a fixed, objective, out there world. It is understood as a constructed experience, a synthesis of internal, unconscious fantasy, psychical reality, and the organized perception of the external world, reality testing, largely mediated by language. Read further about this in my blog post, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, 2026-02, Dactyloryza, Hatajiriya, Himalayan marsh. Agenda item 5C. What is David Chalmers' theory of consciousness regarding reality in his most recent book, and regarding virtual reality? In his book, Reality Plus, Virtual Worlds and the Problems of Philosophy, I thought it came out in 2025, but it might have come out in 2022. David Chalmers proposes virtual realism, arguing that virtual reality, VR, is genuine, non-illusory reality. He contends that digital objects are real, and virtual experiences can be as meaningful as physical ones, while also suggesting that living in a simulation is a serious, non-skeptical possibility. So, definition of real. Chalmers defines reality based on digital objects having causal powers, being real entities, and not mere hallucinations. This has many implications for a realistic virtual Earth, an iterating one, in a variety of ways. Will we be creating a reality anew that will inform consciousness with causal powers? Stay tuned. And read more about this in the blog post beginning Dactyloryza, Hatajiriya, Himalayan marsh, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com from February of 2026. So agenda item 6, graduate students NSF, National Science Foundation Fellowship applications are being returned without review. So I wrote a set of Twitter posts, X posts about this. How might at World Univ and SCH in hashtag realistic virtual Earth for STEM, building on hashtag MIT OCW in 7 languages for free WS degrees, get this list of graduate students NSF fellowship applications returned without review? And article about this at Senator Warren, at Sen Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren, at Senator Alex Padilla, at Sen Alex Padilla, as WUAS accredits. Could we entertain and matriculate students with NSF grants who might follow up on these proposals that they wrote with academic research papers and similar, even in a realistic virtual Earth, for STEM as this grows? Read the article, Graduate Students NSF Fellowship Applications, are being returned without review. And more about this in the blog post beginning Coast, Live, Oak, Quercus, Agrifolia in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2026/02. Agenda item 7. So open, free, restorative yoga class on Saturdays and in the mornings at 8 a.m. Pacific time, and as we may live to 150 and well beyond, are gradually emerging where we can all explore restorative yoga individually in our homes together. Read the blog posts regarding this on Saturdays in recent weeks in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, which in a way outline these classes. And also from Saturday, in particular, February 7th, 2026, in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, beginning Kadamba flower, and also on 12/25/2025, and also on 12/27/2025 for 2 YouTube videos with some restorative poses to explore on your own. And this is in a blog post, in a Twitter post that's has a hashtag yoga and longevity genetics convo. So a yoga and longevity genetics conversation regarding hashtag WUS yoga is emerging in these blog posts, in these classes, in the emails I share with about 45 people now, potentially meeting on Saturdays at 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern time, 8:30 p.m. India time, on our own individually and yet together in our explorations of these restorative yoga, asana, and other aspects of 8-limb yoga. Agenda item 8. Further regarding yoga genetics conversation, here is the George Church video interview titled "The End of Aging." And see again, so in it, he explores and talks about how there are no biological limits to aging scientifically, and that it's a matter of synthetic biology, potentially, that could do this, make it possible to end for the end of aging. Check out this video. And here again is the minute-long 60 Minutes Aging Reversal interview with George Church by Scott Pelley. How soon could humans reverse the aging process with genetic engineering? From 2019. George Church suggests it's already happening in other species with scientific experiments. Further, some yoga poses to explore in some of these regards, with this conversation emerging with yoga and genetics for longevity. Read more about this in the blog post beginning Kadamba flower in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2026/02/kadambaflower.html. Agenda item 9. Fascinating further Gemini AI responses regarding yoga meditation and asana, genetics, and scientific experimentation directions, and with avatar agent electronic health records in a realistic virtual earth. And see especially regarding our even avatar agent electronic health records in a realistic virtual earth, and in the blog post beginning Kadamba flower. Agenda item 10. Excited if, for the hashtag Waymo World Model becomes the basis for a hashtag Wiki Realistic Virtual Earth. In one iterating hashtag Realistic Virtual Earth, and think hashtag G Street View with hashtag G Time Slider, hashtag G Maps, with hashtag with hashtag TensorFlow AI and Gemini AI, emerging from a hashtag Realistic Virtual Harbin, hashtag Hot Springs, where at World Univ and SCH students can all be creators in it. And this retweets the Waymo, a tweet about the Waymo World Model and Genie 3, a new AI platform from Google and Waymo and Alphabet. The Waymo World Model generates photorealistic interactive environments to train autonomous vehicles. Waymo is the robotics, taxi, and cars subsidiary of Alphabet Google. The Twitter post continues. This helps the cars navigate rare, unpredictable events before encountering them in reality. And this Google DeepMind Twitter post shows a pink dinosaur moving across a street, a road, and potentially a car avoiding this unpredictable event. For World University and School students to be able to start creating such interesting, fascinating developments in this Waymo World Model in an iterating realistic virtual Earth for creativity would be a great opportunity for our students in new ways. Check out the Google DeepMind photo in this Twitter post, video in this Twitter post. More about this in the blog post beginning scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2026-02 Scots Pine Pinus Sylvestris.html. Agenda item 11. Hashtag WUS Home Robotics. Some new developments with teaching with Lego Robotics for kids. And regarding hashtag WUS Home Robotics, how to develop this for IB or similar 16 to 18-year-olds students and college age WUS students. So Lego Robotics, Home Robotics, Lego Spike Prime Robotics, and see the videos from Lego Education, Computer Science and AI and Behavior in the blog post beginning Coast Live Oak, Quercus agrifolia. And if you have interest in developing Lego robotics in your classroom and AI in your classrooms, potentially if you're teaching elementary kids, for example, middle school kids. So the blog post begins Coast Live Oak, Quercus agrifolia, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2026/02 Coast Live Oak, Quercus agrifolia. Agenda item 12. I asked Gemini AI, how soon until World University and School, the WUS Corporation, with a partnering email letter from Stanford MindPy Cryptocurrency, mindpy.com/SGKMAC to get your Pi cryptocurrency free money daily. How soon can World University and School, the WUS Corporation, be able to even collect reimbursement from students matriculating at World University and School from departments of education in all 200 countries in all 50 US states? Gemini AI said, collecting reimbursement from departments of education globally remains a long-term goal rather than an immediate reality for World University and School. Key obstacles to immediate funding: accreditation status, WUAS is currently proceeding with accreditation. To receive federal funding in the U.S., Title V, a school must be fully accredited by a Department of Education recognized agency, which typically takes 5 to 10 years for new institutions. Distance education restrictions. U.S. federal aid is generally not available for students enrolled in degree programs at foreign schools if any part of the program is delivered via distant or online education. Cryptocurrency barriers. No major Department of Education currently recognizes Pi cryptocurrency as a valid medium for tuition reimbursement or financial aid disbursement. International complexity. Collecting funds from 200 countries requires individual, bilateral agreements or recognition by each country's unique Ministry of Education, a process that is not yet established for WUAS. Current reality. While the founders of Pi Network have Stanford roots, there is no official partnership between Stanford University and the WS Corporation that grants WS immediate access to Stanford's funding or accreditation status. Would you like me to find specific accreditation requirements for a new online university in California? Gemini AI concluded. That's helpful information as World University and School seeks to proceed with accreditation and seeks potentially reimbursement from departments of education in all 200 countries and all 50 US states, possibly with Stanford Mind Pi cryptocurrency. Moving to the second wing of World University and School, the WUS Corporation, a for-profit general stock company legal entity in the state of California, the WS Press, an academic press in 7,159 languages with machine learning. That website, beginning website is worlduniversityandschool.org/academicpress.html. Pi cryptocurrency retail outlook acceptance outlook. Pi cryptocurrency retail acceptance outlook. So I asked Gemini AI, when might I be able to use the Stanford Pi cryptocurrency that I've accumulated so far in a Walmart or a 7-Eleven in the future? Currently, there is no official date or confirmed partnership for spending Pi at major retailers like Walmart or 7-Eleven. While the Pi network transitioned to Open Mainnet on February 20th, 2025, enabling on-chain transfers, adoption remains limited to small peer-to-peer P2P marketplaces and local vendors. Current status and challenges. Retail acceptance. Major corporations typically require high liquidity and regulatory clarity before accepting new cryptocurrencies. As of 2026, Pi is primarily used in Pi-powered apps and local shops in specific regions like Southeast Asia and Africa. Developer progress. The core team recently released tools, January of 2026, to help developers integrate Pi payments into apps in under 10 minutes, which is a step toward broader commercial use. Indirect spending. You might be able to use your Pi sooner at these stores by using crypto to gift card services like BitPay or crypto debit cards if they eventually list Pi. Timeline outlook. Short term, expect to use Pi within the Pi ecosystem. Pi chain mail specialized apps. Long term, integration with global retailers like Walmart would likely require Pi to be listed on major exchanges like Binance or Coinbase and achieve stable market pricing, which is still developing. Would you like me to find a list of current Pi accepting marketplaces where you can spend your balance now? Gemini concluded. Read more about this further in blog post beginning Coast Live Oak Quercus agrifolia in scott-mccloud.blogspot.com from February of 2026. Agenda item B on the WS Academic Press wing, the WS Corporation wing, the WS Educational Services stores for books, computers, robotics, hospital technologies, groceries wing. Again, from World University and School wing above. So the first wing of today's agenda and news. How soon until World University and School, the WS Corporation, with a partnering email letter from Stanford MindPi Cryptocurrency, be able to even collect reimbursement from students matriculating at World University and School from departments of education in 200 countries and all 50 US states. And this is something that World University and School potentially would like to develop in our WS Educational Services stores too. So on the WS Corporation wing, such that potential students and people from around in all 200 countries could potentially get things from the WS Educational Services stores in a possible store within a store, a World University and School Educational Services store within a Walmart store model, beginning in the 20 countries that Walmart is in already out of 200 countries and in their capital cities, with initial World University and School Educational Services stores for books, computers, robotics, groceries in these Walmarts in capital cities in all 200, in all 20 Walmart countries, all 19 Walmart countries. Could people begin to spend Pi in these Walmarts and buy things with it? Gemini has already clarified some of that above, hoping to do so further with time. So that's the WS News and question and answer for Monday, February 16th, 2026, using the agenda and news from Monday, February 9th, 2026, beginning Mount Whitney. I'll post the recording of this to the current active YouTube video channel, youtube.com/Scott McLeod World University, and also to the main Twitter X feeds, twitter.com/WORLDUNIVANDSCH, twitter.com/WUAS Press, as well as to the two blog posts for today, which are Santa Monica Mountains. And until next week, Monday, February 23rd, 2026 at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Looking forward to further conversation online as we proceed, as World University and School grows, as the WS Corporation, the academic press at WUS, the WS Educational Services grow. If you know of students who are interested in free online degrees, stay tuned. From World University and School, building on MIT OpenCourseWare in its 7 languages, building on Yale, Open Yale courses. More soon, and bye for now. Send questions or comments or thoughts to President at World University and School, and see you next week. Bye for now.